The wrapping paper hadn't even hit the floor before my nephew Tyler grabbed it and dunked it into the garbage can. He was 12, wearing a designer hoodie that cost more than my monthly grocery budget. "Bargain gifts go in the trash," Tyler announced to the room full of relatives. My daughter Emma stood frozen, trying to process what had just happened. She'd spent an hour picking out that science kit, adding $5 from her own allowance. My brother Marcus laughed from the leather sectional. "That's my boy. Teaching him standards early." His wife, Jennifer, nodded. "We don't do discount store gifts in this family." I felt Emma's hand slip into mine, trembling. Instead of defending her, I squeezed her hand gently and stayed quiet. "Come on, sweetie," I said softly. "Let's go get some cake." As we walked away, Marcus Stage whispered to our mother, "It's embarrassing watching her try to keep up." Mom's response was quiet. She made her choices, marrying a teacher instead of someone with real money. The party continued. Tyler opened expensive gifts one after another. A new gaming laptop worth $2,000, a professional skateboard, limited edition sneakers. He tossed the cards aside without reading them, already reaching for the next box. My sister Lauren arrived late, making a dramatic entrance. "Sorry. The dealership took forever detailing the new Range Rover." "Which color?" Jennifer asked immediately. "Arctic white with the black trim package." "Marcus, it makes your BMW look almost ordinary." My brother stood defensive. "The M5 is a performance vehicle." $45,000 difference though, Lauren shot back with a smile. I stayed in the kitchen with Emma, who'd gone quiet the way she did when things hurt. "Mom," she whispered. "Why was my gift wrong?" "It wasn't wrong, baby. Some people forget what matters." Marcus grabbed a beer from the fridge. "Still here? Must be tough watching everyone else live well." He glanced at Emma. "Kid, don't settle like your mom did. Marry someone who can actually provide." After they left, I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. 3 clicks stopped the automatic transfer that had been running for 4 years. The transfer that paid for Marcus's BMW. We left early. Emma fell asleep in the car, her face pressed against the window. I drove past the dealership where Lauren's Range Rover probably sat, then past the gated community where Marcus's house stood with its 3-car garage. All of it built on money they thought they'd earned. The next morning started normally. I made breakfast, got Emma ready for school, and kissed my husband, David, goodbye as he left for the high school where he taught chemistry. Our small house felt warm and real in a way Marcus's showplace never did. My phone rang at 9:15. "We need to talk. Now." Marcus's voice had an edge I'd never heard. "I'm working. They're trying to take my car. The payments stopped. But that's impossible because..." His voice trailed off. In the silence, I could hear him connecting the dots. "Wait. You've been making my car payments for 4 years. $3,200 a month." The silence stretched so long I checked to see if the call had dropped. "That's over $150,000. His voice had gone hollow. $153,600. "But who's counting? Why would you?" "Dad asked me before he died. He said you'd made bad investments and needed help. Said it was temporary. That was 4 years ago. Dad knew. Dad arranged the transfer from my account to your loan. You thought it was from his estate trust. The trust ran out 6 months after he died." "I know. I've been paying from my salary since then." Pause. "But you live in that tiny house. Emma goes to public school. You drive a 10-year-old sedan." "Yep. Jennifer's Mercedes." "Is that $1,400 a month for 3 years? What else?" "Your house payment. $2,800 monthly. HOA fees. Tyler's private school." "How much total?" I pulled up my spreadsheet. "Just over $400,000. He made a sound that wasn't quite a word. "Yesterday Tyler threw my daughter's gift in the trash. You laughed. So I stopped the transfers. All of them. You can't just, we'll lose everything." "Bargain gift. That's what Tyler called it. A $40 science kit my daughter saved 3 weeks to buy. I'll talk to him." "He didn't mean." "He meant it. You taught him to." My second line beeped. "Lauren, what did you do?" "The bank called about my Range Rover. I closed the account." "Why would my payment come from your account?" "Dad asked me to help when you lost your job 3 years ago. I've been covering your car and country club. 2,300 monthly. 82,800 total. Her breathing stopped. You mocked my car yesterday. The car I paid for yours with. I didn't know. Because you assumed you'd earned it. Too busy mocking bargain shoppers to notice who was funding your life. My phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. Mom knows. She's calling you. Right on cue, Mom's call came through. Is it true? She demanded. Have you been supporting your brother and sister? Yes. For how long? 4 years for Marcus. 3 for Lauren. Why didn't you tell me? Because Dad asked me not to. He said Marcus and Lauren needed to believe they were successful on their own. That knowing would hurt their pride. So you've been living in that cramped house, driving that old car while they called my daughter's gift trash. While they mocked my husband's teaching salary. While they made jokes about us being the poor relatives at every family gathering. Mom went quiet for a moment. What do you need from me? Nothing. I'm done needing things from this family. I meant, what do you need to start the payments again? You think this is a negotiation? Everything's a negotiation, sweetheart. You want an apology? You'll get one. You want them to treat you better? I'll make sure of it. Mom, I want my daughter to grow up knowing her worth isn't measured in designer labels. I want her to understand that being kind matters more than being comfortable. And I want her to never ever treat someone the way your grandson treated her yesterday. So this is about Emma? This is about Emma watching her gift get thrown in the trash and learning that's acceptable. This is about her hearing her uncle call her father a failure. This is about $483,000 that I could have used for her college fund, or a bigger house, or literally anything except subsidizing people who despise us. The number hung in the air between us. $400, Mom's voice faded. $483,600. Give or take a few hundred for interest I didn't charge. I heard her sink down. Your father never told me the amounts. He never told them either. Marcus and Lauren think their success is self-made. They have no idea they've been living on my teacher wife's salary while insulting it. My email pinged. The dealership had sent Marcus's account to collections. Another ping. The bank had started foreclosure proceedings on his house. A third ping. Tyler's private school wanted to discuss the tuition situation. The consequences are starting, I told Mom. Marcus's car will be repossessed by the end of the day. His house payment is 60 days past due as of this morning. Lauren's Range Rover has a repo order. Tyler's school wants payment for this semester. You set this up to all collapse at once. I stopped paying my bills all at once. Their collapse is their problem. My doorbell rang. Through the window I could see Marcus's BMW in my driveway and Marcus himself at my door. Jennifer sat in the passenger seat staring straight ahead. They're at my house, Mom. I have to go. Fix this, she said. Family doesn't abandon family. You're right. Family doesn't. But I'm the one who didn't abandon anyone, remember? I'm the one who paid and paid and paid while being treated like trash. I hung up and opened the door. Marcus looked like he'd aged 5 years overnight. The repo truck is following me. They gave me an hour to bring the car to you. They said the loan is in your name. It is. Dad didn't trust you to make the payments, so he put it in my name with you as the authorized driver. So legally it's my car. You've just been borrowing it. Jennifer got out and walked up, her designer heels clicking on my concrete path. We'll set up payments. Whatever you want. Can you afford $4,600 a month? That's just the car and the house. It doesn't include Tyler's school or your Mercedes. Her face went white. That's more than Marcus makes. I know. I've been covering the difference for 4 years. Marcus grabbed the doorframe. How did you afford this? I'm a senior financial analyst. I make $190,000 a year. David makes $85,000 as a department head. We live below our means. We save. We budget. We don't buy 12-year-olds $1,000 laptops. But you live in this tiny house. As we chose to. Because we wanted Emma to learn that happiness doesn't come from things. Because we wanted to actually retire someday instead of drowning in car payments. The repo truck pulled up to my curb. Please, Marcus said. 1 more month. Let me figure something out. I looked past him to where Emma's bike sat in the garage, next to the inflatable kiddie pool we'd bought on sale. Our small, happy life. Yesterday your son threw my daughter's gift in the garbage. You laughed. Today you're begging. That's not growth, Marcus. That's just consequences. The repo driver approached with a clipboard. I need the keys to the BMW and the Mercedes. Jennifer's face crumpled. Not my car too? I looked at her. Yesterday at the party, what did you say about our grocery store cake? She stared at the ground. You said it tasted like we'd scraped it off the discount shelf. You said you couldn't believe I'd serve that to children. I stepped aside so the repo driver could get through. That cake cost $18. Your car payment, which I've been making, $16,800 total. You insulted a cake that cost $18 while I paid for your luxury vehicle. So yes, your car too. The repo driver waited patiently. Marcus handed over both sets of keys with shaking hands. What are we supposed to drive? Jennifer whispered. The same thing we do, I said. A used car with reasonable payments that you can actually afford. As the truck loaded both vehicles, neighbors started coming out. Marcus and Jennifer stood in my driveway watching their status symbols disappear onto the flatbed. Mom's car pulled up just as the repo truck left. She got out slowly, looking older than I'd ever seen her. I called Lauren, she said. Her car's already gone. Her husband found out about the debt. He's talking to a lawyer. That's between them. Your father would be devastated. Dad created this mess. He taught them to live beyond their means and then made me the safety net without telling me it was permanent. He was trying to help. He was enabling. There's a difference. I started to close the door. I have to get back to work. I have actual bills to pay. My own bills. What do they do now? What everyone does. They figure it out. They make real budgets. They live within their actual means. They get jobs that cover their lifestyle or they change their lifestyle. You know, like adults. Marcus and Jennifer were still standing in the driveway looking lost. Marcus, I called out. Tyler's science kit, the one he threw away? It teaches about renewable energy and comes with a solar panel experiment. Emma wanted him to have it because he told her last month he was interested in environmental science. He remembered. He cared. She spent her allowance. His eyes filled with tears. That's what bargain gifts look like when they come from love instead of obligation. You should teach him the difference before he grows up to be like you. I closed the door and went back to my computer. My email had 17 new messages. Marcus copying me on frantic emails to the bank, Lauren's desperate voicemails, Jennifer's texts promising anything if I'd just help one more time. I deleted them all and opened the college savings calculator instead. $483,600. If I'd put that into Emma's education fund instead, she could go to any university in the country. Full ride. No loans. But I'd spent it on people who threw her gifts in the trash. Not anymore. My phone rang again. This time it was Tyler calling from Marcus's phone. Aunt Sarah. His voice was small, nothing like yesterday's arrogance. Yes, Tyler. Dad said he said you paid for everything. Our house and my school and everything. I did. Because of Grandpa? Because your dad needed help and I wanted to be there for family. A long pause. I'm sorry about the gift. And what I said. I didn't know. Would it have mattered if you did know? Would you have been kinder to Emma if you'd known I was rich? He didn't answer right away. I don't know. Maybe. That's the problem, Tyler. Kindness shouldn't depend on someone's bank account. Emma picked that gift because she loves science and she thought you did too. She wanted to share something she enjoyed with you. That's what gifts are supposed to be. Dad's crying. I've never seen him cry before. Sometimes people need to cry. Sometimes that's how we learn. Are we going to lose our house? I don't know. That's up to your parents now. I really am sorry. I'll tell Emma. I'll tell her the gift was actually really cool and I was being a jerk. That would be nice. She'd like that. After he hung up, I sat for a long time looking at family photos on the wall. There was one from 5 years ago before Dad died. Before the payments started. Everyone was smiling, genuine and warm. We could never get back to that moment. But maybe, just maybe, we could find our way to something real. My phone buzzed one more time. A text from Emma's school. Emma told her class today that kindness is the most expensive gift because it costs nothing but people forget to give it. Her teacher wanted to share that with you. I smiled and got back to work. The world didn't end because I stopped paying other people's bills. The sun still rose. Emma still laughed. David still brought me coffee in bed. And somewhere across town my brother was learning what his life actually cost. Maybe that was the real gift all along.